Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drux Milan Unboxing. We've got a really busy boxing weekend over on our side of a pond down here in South Africa. So let's start with what is happening tomorrow evening, Thursday evening at the EFC Performance Center in Johannesburg. It's a bull that goes out live on ESPN Africa, and it will be headlined by a female fight, 10 rounds for the IBF Continental Africa Junior Welterweight or Super Lightweight Championship. Now, it's something that I'm quite excited for because we've got an undefeated female light welterweight, 140 pounder here in South Africa called Hedda the Shredder Wolmarans. She's 6-0 with 4 knockouts. She started her pro career in 2015. That's part of a problem. She's still only had 6 fights. It's a very shallow talent pool in South Africa, and it's hard to find opponents for her. Well, so far she has checked the form book. She's a southpaw. I would say that's sort of where the awkwardness ends, because she's got a more conventional, technical, very technically sound style. She's got a good jab, she's got good power, she goes to the head and body. So far she has looked for stuff, she's checked all the boxes, but she's had limited opposition in front of her, not through her own fault, they're just not available, and we had always extenuating circumstances, which we all know. She is the South African 140-pound junior welterweight champion. She won that title by stopping Nomaditini in Jambo, and she also has 2 wins over Kolosa Ndobayini, who was a more experienced opponent. Now Hedda will be taking a big step up because she's facing 11-1 with 6 knockouts, much more experienced opponent, Ruth Chisale from Malawi. Now, Chisale is no pushover. She's competed between lightweight and welterweight. Only loss was a points loss in the opponent's hometown, and she does travel well because on her record she has a very good win in Switzerland over the home fighter Ornella Domini, and Domini is the current European female welterweight champion of division higher. So she was fighting an undefeated girl in her hometown in Europe, and she prevailed in that fight. So it tells you that she can travel. She's had a reasonably high level of opposition because that opponent is now the EBU champion. She's also challenged for the world title. So Ruth Chisale has it in experience over Hedda Wolmarans, and she also has the quality of opposition tick behind her. So it's kind of, if the reports are to be believed, it's kind of strange to me that Hedda is the favorite in this fight, because if you look at it on paper, Ruth Chisale should really be the favorite in this fight. Now, I've seen Hedda fight before, I've met her in person, and I've seen her in the gym. She's a real monster in there. But if you just look on paper, Ruth Chisale has got the quality of opposition. She's well travelled, and she has won on the road before. And that is where the problem starts, because I'm sort of going dark here. There's no footage that I can find of Ruth Chisale, no matter how I looked. I spoke to Hedda's manager trainer, Colin Nathan, a few days back, and he did manage to find some footage. Colin's a bit more resourceful than me, it seems. And he's very confident in Hedda's chances. He says he knows how they're going to win, and he knows that they're going to win. Now, of course, a trainer or manager will say that about their fighter. You rarely get them hear them saying, we'll give it a go and we'll see how it goes. They're always confident in their fighter's chances. But as I know Colin, he's usually quite forthright. He'll tell you it's a 50-50 or so on, you know, even though he's always positive. And for that reason, and this is a prediction that really doesn't mean much, because it could be that Hedda comes unstuck like our so far most accomplished female fighter Noni Tenge did when Leila Makata was here years ago to defend the WBA welterweight title. She knocked Tenge out there in the Orient Theatre. It could go very wrong for Hedda tomorrow night on Thursday night. But she has always checked the form book. This is a big step up, because you only know how good a fighter, male or female, is when they're getting hit back, getting hit hard, or maybe down on points, and has an opponent there that matches them evenly. And Ruth Chisale, as I've said, she's a dark horse, but she has got the numbers. She's been inactive from 2017 to 2021, but she came back in 2021 with a good points win. So that should shake the ring rust off, and either of them have been a hive of activity. But another thing that I'm pretty sure of is Hedda is going to have a height and reach advantage. If I'm looking here at on BoxRec, Chisale, who by the way is ranked in the top 10, female top 10 welterweights in the world. That's a division higher once again. Chisale is 5'5.5" in height, and Hedda, I'm 5'11", and Hedda is about my height, more or less. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Hedda is going to have a height and the reach. And so far she's been technically sound, but we have yet to see her really being put under pressure and see how she reacts. So it's a 10-round bout. As we know, female bouts only have 2 minutes. Another thing about Chisale, she's got a common opponent with Hedda Wolmarans, who is Colosa Ndobanyeni, and Hedda has 2 decisions over Ndobanyeni. Chisale knocked Ndobanyeni out. So I think Chisale can be a very big danger. I think she will test that chin of Hedda, but she's going to be at a height and a reach disadvantage. Hedda covers up well. I don't think she's going to be nailed cold. So I'm leaning here towards Hedda Wolmarans winning this one on points. I'll be very pleasantly surprised if she stops Ruth Chisale. But my gut feel is Hedda is going to pull it off. And that's really not something you can take it to the bank. As I've said, on paper, quality of opposition, which I'm big at, and experience and ability to travel, Ruth Chisale ticks the boxes. But she can be beaten on points, as she has been once in her career. And I do think that height and the reach of Hedda might just see her through. And Hedda is an athlete. She's not your average sort of girl. She's a strong girl, and she's physically imposing. So I'm going to do something uncharacteristic, gamble on the form book, and sort of trust Colin Nathan's opinion, and I'm going to say Hedda is going to take this one on points. But as I've said, Ruth Chisale is definitely an unknown factor in this fight, seeing that we can't get footage of her. It's a very interesting ball Thursday, tomorrow night on ESPN Africa. There's some good other bouts on the card. We're seeing the return of losses of a very highly touted junior welterweight prospect, Jabulani Mackenzie, who's now moved back down from welterweight back to junior welter, which I think will suit him more. He's got a rebound from a bad stoppage loss against Tulani Mbenge. And we also see the return of Boyd Allen, the MMA, the EFC star, who came unstuck against Brandon Tyson last time out. So I think those will be very, very good bouts. And we have a good cruiserweight bout, 2 guys that need to re-establish themselves after losses. Lebo Mashitoa against Akani Phuzi. Lebo, he has had a nice run, outpointed Keaton Gomes twice, and then moved down to light heavyweight, which wasn't a good idea, and he got himself stopped. So now he has to rebuild. Lebo Mashitoa, height-wise, doesn't look like a big cruiserweight. There's a guy I've seen in person also and in the gym. He's got big thighs like a rugby player. His weight is in his lower body, and I think he's probably more suited as a cruiserweight. More of a boxer, not a power guy. Then Akani Phuzi was undefeated, was supposed to be the next big thing. He was sort of becoming a small hall show headliner. And then he got upended by Johnny Miller twice. The veteran handed him a bit of a boxing lesson. Now he switched trainers from Alan to Ottawil to Damien Durant. So it will be interesting to see how the trainer mix gels. Lebo Mashitoa is more of a boxer. He's not really a power guy. If you look at Akani Phuzi, he scored some impressive one-shot knockouts, but he doesn't have that high of a knockout ratio either. So we'll have to see what the switching trainers can do. It's a real even fight for me. I'm leaning slightly towards Akani Phuzi, but he will have to correct a few mistakes. In the Johnny Miller fight, he fought like he was a house fighter, like he was going to get the benefit of the doubt in every round. And I think as a result of that, or maybe it was the pressure that Johnny was putting on him, he just threw 2 little punches, 1 or 2 good jabs in a round, or maybe one single power shot or no one, and that's what he did every round. And Johnny just outworked and outfought him. If he can correct that work rate problem, I think Akani Phuzi can still be a player. So it's a crossroads bout. It will be a very interesting bout to see who goes where. I'm slightly leaning towards Akani Phuzi, but it won't surprise me if Lebo upends an apple card. And it'll be nice to see Jabulani Mackenzie and Boyd Allen return to winning ways. And then the big fight with Hedda Wolmarans against Ruth Chisale. Nice to see a major women's fight again in South Africa. So that's my take on the ESPN show tomorrow night, ESPN Africa. If you like this channel, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those hands up.